sent in by a viewer, and they said, you need to check this article out because this is a journal coping about the layoffs in the field of journos. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. This ought to be good. Editorial, and this is on Nintendo Life, by the way. Editorial: gamers, support the people and sites you love before it's too late. Which, yeah, fair enough. I think that's what makes the world go around. You support the people you want to support. Well, I don't know. What is the point of this article? If people are not supporting you, maybe that's the world telling you that maybe it isn't for you, or you need to find a different way to go about things. Just telling people, hey guys, support me. It's like, yeah, bro, I'd love to. We only have so much time in the day. We can't support every single person everywhere. Wicho says, editorial: water is wet. That's literally the title. Water is wet. Here we go. And this is written by Gavin Lane. I'm not familiar with this person. They are not on Kotaku Detected, so that's a plus. Well, we've come to the end of the week that's seen the end of two gaming institutions as we've known them for many years. The departure of Dan Rickert and Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb on Thursday was swiftly followed by news of layoffs at Polygon following the site's sale to Valnet, owner of Screen Rant. Seeing these top-tier creators, I'm going to take issue with that because I would argue a top-tier creator would not write themselves out of business or talk themselves out of business. But who am I to say that? So again, I need to give additional context with behind the scenes. There is a network of the industry where they are sharing communication with each other, whether it be Discord, Slack, group messages, Facebook, whatever it is. Everyone in the industry knows everyone. And in a weird way, it's kind of how the cancer has grown, because people are afraid to just not let someone go and not let them come back in. It's become a cult of protecting your own and keeping out anybody that threatens the message. So when a move like this happens, it is a massive blow to the cult, and they don't know what to do. They're like scattered ants when you pick up the chocolate piece and they're all running around like, where'd the chocolate go? That was giving us the food. Where'd it go? They don't know what to do with themselves right now, except it hasn't really. Has it? The layoffs in games and games media have become so commonplace that it doesn't come as a surprise anymore to see gaming institutions crumble around us. It's just another week in the industry. It is. Welcome to Earth. Everything is very uncertain. It sucks. I wish there was an easier way for everyone. I wish there was. But that's not how society functions. You need to provide a service to people that reciprocates you being in that position. And there may come a day where whatever I do on here is filled and people don't want me here anymore. And I need to understand, okay, I had a good run. I had fun. I'm probably going to still do it because unlike these jobs, they can't fire me from this, although YouTube might try. I can do this wherever, whether it be Rumble, Twitch. I would not want to do Twitch, but Kick, obviously YouTube, but my own website. I could stream from my own website. Like there's so many outlets to do it, which in a weird way brings you back to, in essence, this is why the cream rises to the top, because it shows through the passion. If you love doing this, you will find a way to do it. If you need Big Daddy Corpo to give you a paycheck every week to push propaganda and be a activist in games journalism, there's a reason why you won't have a job for much longer. Anyways, we're a month away from a new Nintendo console launch, something we've been waiting for so long. And yet many of the critic voices fans are most keen to hear have been deplatformed. Oh, deplatformed. They're using those words. They're using those words, the lefty words. I've been deplatformed. I've had my voice taken away from me. You haven't been deplatformed at all. Go start a YouTube channel, buy your Nintendo Switch, and talk to people about it. No one's stopping you. What the hell is this? What even is this? This week in circumstances that leave us, if not surprised, then thoroughly depressed and dumbfounded by the decisions taken by management at Fandom and Valnet. I don't know how to tell these people this, but doing this kind of stuff and being ad supported ain't going to cut it. It just doesn't. Unless you are one of the massive voices on the platform, it doesn't pay the bills. You cannot survive off of ad revenue alone. You can't. I mean, maybe you can, depending on where you live. But I'm talking from personal experience. If they want people to survive on a living wage by just having ads supporting their content, you better damn well be top tier, best of the best, because otherwise it ain't happening. The elusive fan says, how are they dumbfounded? There's no audience. There's no money. No money is no job. Oh my God. Thank you. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not alone on this, because I'm reading this. I'm like, are they that delusional where they're just so used to getting a free paycheck every 2 weeks or whatever the pay structure was, that when that gets taken away, they're just confused because they're so used to just going in and writing a few words and calling it a day, and then talking shit to people online, causing issues, pushing activism, and then calling it a day. Wario64 on Blue Sky. I love this. This tells you all you need to know, by the way. Gavin Lane sharing a Blue Sky post. Bro, I saw a post when I was researching for an article, by the way. I found a post on Blue Sky, because trust me, I don't go to Blue Sky. But on the default page on Blue Sky, the recommended feed or whatever, it was like 2 different pictures of books. And one of the books was like how to become or how to disappear. And the other book was how to change your identity. And the post said mood. And I'm like, man, Blue Sky is just so weird. It's just filled with people that hate themselves. It is the weirdest thing in the world. I will never understand it. Wario64 on Blue Sky, apparently. Giant Bomb content is currently on hold while fandom engages in a strategic reset and realignment of our media brands. Dan Rickard and Jeff Grubb have departed. Mike Minotti will no longer contribute to Giant Bomb. Whether you've been an avid Giant Bomb fan since the original Gertzman Davis days, which, by the way, I've heard a lot of people, especially my video I made talking about Jeff Grubb no longer being there. A lot of people were saying that they used to love Giant Bomb back in the day. And they were like, how the mighty have fallen. Jumped on board during the mid-2010s, or are a more recent convert, the Giant Bomb podcast and Beastcast, for a good spell there, have been a fixture of many gamers weeks since starting 2008. Even if you never watched a single Giant Bomb video. The podcast radio style warmth and informed but informal tone set the template for many a gaming podcast in the following years, and epic multi-hour Game of the Year episodes became yearly traditions for listeners to look forward to and savor. Oh, isn't that just so sweet? Isn't that just so sweet? Now, here's the thing. This guy, whoever wrote this, is welcome to say this. But ask yourself this. Would he write this article if a YouTuber was trying their best and they just couldn't make ends meet and they lost their audience and lost the viewers and subscriber count was dropping? Would we get an article like this about a random YouTuber? No, they don't give a shit. They're trying to protect their own and they prop each other up. This is almost like a endorsement letter that you write for someone if they're looking for a new job. They could be like, reference this article. Look what they said about what we did and how loved we were. Like, no, bro, no one gives a shit. Sorry. Life is harsh. It sucks sometimes. Don't hate the people that you're trying to sell a product to. That's probably step one. Step two would be, don't be a douchebag. Step three, actually like video games. Step four, don't be an activist. I mean, there's this whole, I could write an entire book on how to be successful by just doing the complete opposite of literally everybody in professional gaming, because holy crap. Vinny, Brad, Alex, and Jeff's respective departures across 2021, 2022 might have felt like last straws, but fandom pulling down episode 888 feels like the definitive end of an era. Then there's Valnut's acquisition of Polygon and subsequent layoffs. It feels like a tentpole of modern games media falling. That's like the same thing that Ash Parrish was talking about when she was on that Black Girl Gamers with Kim Belair. And she was like, oh, you should follow the trusted media sources. And she called them tentpole media. Those are the beacons of hope that you should listen to because those are the trustworthy sources. Oh, yeah. The ones that steal stories from people breaking them and don't give credit. The tentpole media. Yeah, okay. For over 12 years, the site's writers have consistently put out some of the best articles in the space. So the talent being thrown away for this round of layoffs is confounding, which, to be fair, I'm sure there has been an article here or there that was decent. But by saying that consistently for years and then saying it's followed off by a round of layoffs is confounding, that means you have not taken the temperature of the room. You don't know who your audience is. You don't understand where your audience is going, and you haven't tried to garner them there. They left you for a reason, and your own narcissism stopped you from seeing it. LBC Andrew says, put the fries in the bag. Firing your most experienced staffers mere weeks before an important console launch suggests something about the standard of coverage these companies are interested in providing to their audience, you might think. Yeah, they probably want to improve it. Sorry. I can't help myself. You put it on a tee, I'm going to knock it out of the park. Come on. Chris Grant said, their press release proudly calls Polygon a premium gaming publication, but Valnut literally refused to meet with me or answer a single question of mine throughout this process. They were wildly incurious about how a gaming publication even becomes premium because they realize you are worthless to them, Chris. I know it sounds harsh. Someone, maybe you guys don't like me, but you don't like me because I tell the truth. And maybe the truth is too hard for you to handle, but that's the reality. They understand that you are not necessary. It sucks when that's what you've built your life on, but realize the decisions that you made and who you gathered with and who you surrounded yourself with is part of the reason why it's all falling down right now. And no, I am not losing any sleep or shedding any tears for this situation. If you're a fan of those voices from Giant Bomb or Polygon or any of the writers, creators who have suffered layoffs in recent times, remember that the vast majority are online, searchable, and crucially supportable. They may not be on a platform you've previously found them on for years, but they're almost certainly out there doing great work. Is that like a dog whistle to, hey, get off X and go find them on Blue Sky? Because that's what I read that as. If you love the work and you're in a position to subscribe to their Patreon, fling them a few quid over coffee or sign up as a supporter, please do so, assuming that these sites and streams will just survive and their creators can simply jump ship to a similar gig when the iceberg looms is wishful thinking. Willing but not in the financial position to send your hard-earned cash to a bunch of writers and podcasts and streamers? Hey, as anyone working in games media will tell you, it's tough out there. There's no shortage of good causes and needs of support these days. Remember, though, that just downloading and listening to podcasts on the free feeds, watching streams, and turning off ad blocks on sites like this one, for instance, makes a big difference. My greater point being is what I go back to is ads do not support multiple salaries in the industry. So you need to be providing some actual way to get more money, which is kind of the problem with how Gamergate became a problem in the first place, where people were getting backroom deals allegedly with game studios, getting in good with them, getting connections, getting handshakes, maybe getting hired on at studios, becoming good friends with them. It's a very mess of an industry. It's a very mess of an industry. Our hearts go out to everyone at Giant Bomb and Polygon affected this week. If you've ever enjoyed their work, or if you've never heard of them and you're wondering what the fuss is about, seek them out if you're able. Support them in their other endeavors, old and new. And remember to be liberal with praise and support of the sites you love and their creators. I can agree with this. I can agree with that last part. I think the problem is they're focusing on the people that will let go, and they're saying, please support them. And then it's like more of like a ... or anyone that you care about. It's like, oh, right. That all goes without saying. Why should people be giving extra support to people just because they got pushed out of the industry because they weren't making ends meet with it? This whole thing just gotta, this guy says they're confounded by it. I'm dumbfounded and confounded by this article. This is wild. Odin Darkle says, I love creators, but not you, gaming journalist. Let's see what people say about this. It's sad people got fired, but if an outlet doesn't write pieces which believe the fact the author hasn't actually watched, played the thing in question, or insert politics into pieces about games, then I think they'd keep more of their readership and thus more money. Although, what with YouTube and such, there's a lot of competition abound. That was one thing that got me into Nintendo life. But the impartial articles and mostly lack of leak reports keep me here. It's fair. I would say the dynamic of games media reporting, journalism, or just talking about games in general has dynamically shifted extreme. And they thought that they could just keep doing what they've been doing forever when everyone else started migrating to a different area to get their information. And there is a chance, in fact, I'd say there's probably a good chance that sometime in our lifetime that YouTube will be overtaken by some other form of media. Who knows? Nobody could have ever predicted YouTube coming in and basically wreaking havoc on the entire industry. So there could be a new form that comes out years from now that wreaks havoc on the YouTube formula. And that's literally life. And you have to either adapt or die off. There's no, oh, just because they're a nice guy to me, they should be supported. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. I know it always makes me sound like an asshole when I talk about this stuff, but man, these people need some tough love sometimes. Some jerk says, I revel in their demise. Oh, man. But good times. Shout out to you guys for being here. And thank you for, speaking of, thank you for the support. Because I know you don't have to be here. That's the crazy thing, is I feel like these other outlets, they almost like expect you to go to them. And it's a very different vibe with YouTube and content creation, where it's like, no, you have to earn your audience and be very grateful for them. I don't get a guaranteed paycheck. I don't get money every 2 weeks from this. You know what I mean? Like guaranteed. That's the big difference. So Anyways, where was I?